Hi, my name is Ani Munira Muhammad from ATLAS.ti Malaysia.com. In this video, I am going to teach you how to prepare the outputs from the ATLAS.ti software for the purpose of your literature review. Now, I would like to put a caution statement. These outputs which are generated using the ATLAS.ti software is by no means the end result or the end product for your literature review. In other words, the outputs should only be used as guidelines for you to come up with your critical analysis or your opinion or your argument in relation to the statements or the quotations which you have highlighted earlier in ATLAS.ti. It is very important for me to make that statement because there are a few ATLAS.ti users who think that by using ATLAS.ti you can get the literature review output done. Okay, actually the outputs from this software is only as a guideline. It is not the end result, whereby the researcher, who is still the mastermind of that research, will still need to put in their thoughts, put in their minds into paraphrasing, into making sense, into synthesizing the arguments in the literatures which has been made by the authors. Right, having said that, I think we should get started, right? Okay, there are three types of outputs which can be generated within ATLAS.ti. The first one is visual, second one is textual, and the third one is numerical. I'm going to start with the visual output. The feature in ATLAS.ti, we call it as the network views. Network views in ATLAS.ti will allow for us to visually see what we have read through from our literatures. Or in other words, once you have highlighted that literature and you have coded it with a specific code, or you have memoed it with a specific memo, then you can actually ask ATLAS.ti to present to you everything that you have highlighted for that particular code in visual format. Not only that, you can further make sense of the quotations which have been mentioned by the authors in the literatures in the network view feature. For example, you wish to create links or relations between the objects. Right, I'm going to demonstrate that now. This is the exact same project which we have created in the previous two videos. Okay, the project is on smoking and cancer, whereby I already have 5 documents inside here. As you can see, the code manager lists down for us the all of the codes that I have created deductively, inductively, as well as autocoding. So I can see here, I want to focus on the impacts of smoking on cancer only, whereby I have seen that the groundedness is 7. I'm going to double click here and ATLAS.ti will open for me a new quotation box. This quotation box will list down for me all these 7 quotations that I have linked to the code of impacts of smoking cancer. So single clicking on any one of these quotations will actually bring me back to the original location where that quotation come from. Okay, this will definitely eliminate the problem whereby most researchers will come to the situation whereby they will say to themselves, I think I have read this somewhere but I cannot remember where. Now that situation is already, you can overcome that by using the ATLAS.ti feature of coding, whereby you drag and drop once, or you do inductive coding, or you do auto coding, whereby ATLAS.ti will remember all the quotations that we have highlighted. Not only that, ATLAS.ti will remember from which document it comes from. Okay, now what do I really mean by visual output? Just now I want to create a network view. So in the code manager, I just simply right click on that code that I want to have it, okay, and I'm going to choose open network view. One new network view will be shown in front of me with the code that I have selected, which is impacts of smoking cancer. Now I want ATLAS.ti to retrieve for me all the quotations that I have coded with this code, right? I'm going to right click now and I'm going to choose import neighbors, import quotation. I will see that there are already 7 quotations, so I can arrange them semantically over here. Okay, as you can see. Okay, I have 1 quote and 7 quotations. The numbers here, due to the limitation of time for this video preparation, I cannot go very much into detail, but in our 1-day course, face-to-face, I'm going to teach you how to do literature review using ATLAS.ti, using your own set of literatures, using your own set of framework for the code system. Okay, and I'm going to teach you how to use each of these features that I am showing in this 5-week video series. Okay, now the numbers, right? Not only that, now this is semi-automatic. Why do I say that? It's because you need to click here and right click there to choose the options, but ATLAS.ti will automatically bring out for us everything that we have highlighted before for that particular code. Okay, now, not only that, I can further make sense of what the authors are saying over here. For example, I find that quotation A contradicts quotation B, supports quotation C, for example. Okay, so first I'm going to create a link from quotation A to quotation B, whereby I will see this red dot. I'm going to bring it now. Here it is. I find that quotation A contradicts quotation B, and quotation B supports quotation C, and quotation C justifies quotation D, quotation D criticizes quotation E. Okay, for example, I can do this uh, um, how long that I want, okay, based on my understanding of what this author says as opposed to that author. And now I'm going to save this network view. Okay, this network view, I can use it as it is, okay, by saving it as a graphic file. Just now I save it as a network view. Now I can further save it as a graphic file by going to network save as graphic file. Okay, and ATLAS.ti will ask me where do I want to save it. Okay, I'm going to choose desktop, impacts of smoking PNG, and I'm going to save it. Okay, right, that's it. So how does it look like on my desktop? Okay, because I have saved it on the desktop just now. Here it is, impact of smoking. I'm going to double click it. Okay, double clicking it. Right. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm going to make it smaller, slightly smaller, because to fit into this video size. Okay, right. Okay, so impact of smoking cancer. This is an image in PNG format that I can simply insert into my Microsoft Word or my Microsoft PowerPoint for understanding purposes and for elaboration or for presentation purposes. Right, now moving on to step number 2, okay, which is the textual output. Textual means something still visually, but it's not in diagram form. It is in textual form, whereby our quotations will be arranged sequentially, the quotes together with the quotations based on what we have gone through earlier. Okay, we have highlighted the quotations and we have linked them to specific quotes and memos. We now can have them in textual output format. Alright, we can also set a scope for specific families. Now I'm going to show you how to do that using the code manager. Right, here in the code manager I can right click to create an output. Where is it? Oops, okay, it's outside of the window. Okay, right, so I'm going to click on impact and I'm going to go to output. Again, it's outside of the window. I'm going to bring this window here, right click, and I'm going to choose output, and I'm going to choose quotation for that selected code. Include comments, yes. Right, so within a few seconds only, ATLAS already informed me that they have generated the output and I want to send it to the editor. Here it is. Okay, report says there are 7 quotations for the code of impacts of smoking cancer stated by Izano 2014. This is it. Okay, as stated by Izano 2014. This is it. Latore. This is it. And Latore again. Lim 2014. What did it say? Not only that, ATLAS.ti will also bring in the relationships that we have created in the network view just now. Okay, for example, the statement by Lim justifies this statement, but this statement supports the statement by Lim. Okay, but you remember earlier that we have created families for the documents. Now I want to find, because here I have cancer, impacts of smoking cancer. I want to know, because just now I have created a textual output for the entire 7 quotations for the code of impact of smoking cancer. Right now, I want to put scope to it. I want impact of smoking cancer as stated by certain families and impact of smoking cancer as stated by other families. Okay, for example, here I'm going to go to analysis query tool. Okay, I'm going to make this smaller so that it fits. Right? Okay. For example, here, okay, I'm going to use the ATLAS.ti query tool function to bring up for me the impact of smoking cancer. The answer will be shown bottom right hand side. Here is the active query. So I'm going to click on the printer icon. The result shows it is 7. So I'm going to use the printer icon to bring up for me all that I have highlighted earlier, all these 7 quotations. So the query report says there are 7 quotations for the impact. Now this output is strikingly similar to the output that we have generated using the code manager just now, except for the header, of course, because the header says it's a query report, but the outcome is all the same, right? But I was saying that I want to put a scope to it. From the 7 quotations, I want to limit the scope. I'm going to click on the scope button here. I'm going to make it smaller so that it fits into the window. Okay, like this. Okay, alright. So you can see that there are certain families. I want to see these answers, 7, okay, 7 quotations as mentioned by Malaysian Journal. So I'm just simply double click it and the answer will be shown bottom left hand side of the ATLAS.ti query tool window that the answer is 3. Click again on the printer icon, full content, send it to the editor. Here it is. There are 3 quotations for the impact of smoking cancer as stated by the Malaysian journals. Here they are, 3 quotations. What about I want from the UK journals? Here it is. The answer says there are 4 quotations from the UK journals. So I'm going to click on this output again, full content, editor. Here it is. Okay, 4 quotations found for the query of impact of smoking cancer as stated by the UK journal, as stated by Izano and also Latore. Okay. Now, what are you going to do with these query reports? Query report for the scope or query report without the scope? Okay. How are you going to use that? You will further read, as stated by Izano. Izano actually suggests that Latore is correct in his findings. On the other hand, quotation 4 agrees with quotation 2, for example. So now you will be writing in your literature review chapter not only Izano says what, Latore says what, but instead you will be saying both Izano 2014 and Latore 2014 agreed that smoking is associated with cancer. Okay, for example. Okay, that's about it for textual output. Of course, in our face-to-face courses, I'm going to teach you even more because due to this limitation of time, okay, I'm limited to talking about only the basic features. Right, next, the third type of output is numerical output. Okay, numerical output will actually tell us the quotation count or word count for each of the codes in each document, as simple as that. I want to know how many quotations are there for each particular code in each document, or how many words have I highlighted in for each particular code in each document. So for that feature, I'm just going to demonstrate that in ATLAS.ti. For example, for the code of cancer, which I did auto coding in the previous video, okay, there are 545 quotations because under the column of groundedness, okay. I want to know this 545, how many comes from document 1, how many comes from document 2, and etc. until document 5. I'm going to use the function of, okay, I'm going to bring this here again, otherwise it will be outside of the window of this video. I'm going to choose output, and I'm going to choose quotes dash primary documents table. Okay, I'm going to put it here. Right, okay. For the code of cancer, because this is the axis X and Y for the table that I want to generate, I'm just going to bring cancer over here, double click, and cancer will come. And I want to bring all my documents here. I'm going to bring it to the right hand side. Okay, for example here, I want to see this code cancer 545 quotations. How many comes from each of these documents? So I can choose whether I want to see the quotation or I want to choose the codes, the words. So now I will click on quotations, create report. ATLAS.ti is counting for me, and it will open in Excel. Oops. Okay, I'm going to do that again. Create report. Okay, here it is. The report is already here actually. Okay. Now, ATLAS.ti have already created this for me. For the code of cancer, total 545, it shows me that 148 quotations come from document 1, 87, document 2, document 3, document 4, and document 5. Okay, not only that, I can further insert a table over here. Okay, insert chart, for example, in order to show that these are the count for my quotation. For example, here. This image will be very helpful for me to present, just to show that this is the quotation count for my code of cancer from all my 5 documents. But what if I want to see the words? Okay, words now. I'm going to create another report here. Okay, now it's already here. Alright, so this is a new table that have been created. Now, it tells me the count for the highlighted segments out of the total word count in that document, and further what is the percentage of that highlighting. Okay, the percentage of the word count of the quotations for each of the codes from each of my documents. So this will be very helpful if we want to see which of my literatures talk the most about a specific code, or this code was mentioned the most by which literature. Okay, for example. Okay, so I think that's it for my sharing for this video. So I wish to thank you for your kind attention in bearing with me. This video series were created impromptu only. I don't have a script. I hope you have learned something new out of these videos. And If you are interested to join our face-to-face courses, you can just navigate yourself to our website at ATLAS.ti, whereby you will be shown a list of courses that you can just simply choose which one is suitable for your purpose, especially the topic for the face-to-face courses, as well as the location where is it going to be held, and also the dates of the courses. Okay, all right. Thank you very much for your attention. My name is Ani Munira from ATLAS.ti Malaysia.com. Bye bye.